I slept with his best friend the night he flew home to visit his dying mother. I told him I was sick. I wasn't. I was wearing the dress he bought for me. But it wasn't for him. It was for his friend, behind his back. And when he came back, broken, grieving, and needing me, I looked him in the eyes and lied like nothing happened, over and over again, until he found out, until everything crumbled. I met Daniel when I was 24. I had just moved into a new apartment, still figuring out how to be an adult, and he was the guy who helped me carry a box up the stairs when I clearly looked like I was about to collapse. He was tall, broad-shouldered, quiet, but kind. The kind of man who watched more than he spoke, and when he did speak, it mattered. He wasn't flashy, not the kind of guy that turned heads in a club, but there was something about him, a calm steadiness. He made me feel safe, like I didn't have to pretend to be anyone else around him. I remember thinking, this guy, he's going to be important. I didn't know just how right and how wrong I'd be. We started dating a few weeks after that first meeting. Daniel wasn't the grand romantic gesture type, no roses at work or surprise trips to Paris. But he was the man who brought me coffee exactly the way I liked it every morning, the one who never forgot to text goodnight when he was away, the one who asked about my dreams and actually remembered them. We moved in together a year later. I was working as a graphic designer at a small agency downtown. He was in logistics, coordinating freight and shipping routes for a distribution company, not glamorous but steady, solid. Like him, I didn't grow up with solid. My parents were chaos. Yelling 1 second, silent treatments the next. My dad walked out when I was 10. My mom drank more than she talked. Love to me had always looked like tension and manipulation, power struggles and fear. Daniel was the opposite of that, so I should have treasured him, but I didn't. Not enough. It started with a fight, a stupid one. I wanted to take a weekend trip to New York with some friends. He asked me to wait a couple more weeks because he had a big project at work, and we hadn't spent much time together. I got defensive, accused him of controlling me, of not trusting me. He was quiet for a long moment, then just said, "Okay," and walked into the other room. I hated that. That calm quiet. That non-reaction. It made me feel like I didn't matter. So I went on the trip. And while I was there, I met Logan. Not planned. Just coincidence. Logan was Daniel's best friend. They'd known each other since college. Fraternity brothers turned roommates, turned business partners for a short time, until Daniel decided he wanted a more stable career path. Logan? Not so much. He was a bartender back then started dabbling in crypto and real estate, always chasing something. Loud, charismatic, always the life of the party. The kind of guy who remembered everyone's drink order and made you feel like you were the only person in the room. He wasn't my type. Not really. But he noticed me. Noticed in a way Daniel didn't anymore. It was innocent at first. He messaged me after seeing some photos from the trip I posted on Instagram. Said I looked amazing. That Daniel was a lucky guy. I replied with a laughing emoji. He said something about how if I ever got bored, I knew where to find him. I should have stopped it there. Blocked him. Told Daniel. But I didn't. Instead, I replied, "Maybe I'll take you up on that one day." I told myself it was just harmless flirting. That's how it always starts. Daniel's mother got sick not long after that. Stage 4, pancreatic cancer. It moved fast. Too fast. He flew home for a week, then another, then a month. I stayed behind. I told him work was too busy, that I couldn't get the time off. The truth was, I didn't want to sit in a quiet hospital room and watch someone die. I didn't know how to handle that kind of grief. His grief. So I stayed. And Logan came over. First, it was under the pretense of checking on me. "I know Daniel would kill me if anything happened to you," he said, the first night he dropped off a bottle of wine. We drank, talked. He sat too close on the couch. I didn't move away, the why. Second time I invited him over. Nothing happened. But I could tell we were both thinking about it. The night ended early after Daniel called to check in. He drove home, leaving me desperately wanting more. The third time was the time it happened. I wore the black satin dress Daniel had given me for our anniversary, the one that clung to my hips and made him blush the first time I wore it. I stared at myself in the mirror for a long while, wondering if this would be the moment I finally stopped. But I didn't. When Logan arrived, he paused in the doorway, his gaze running over me like I was something forbidden. He didn't speak. Didn't have to. The dress was all the sign he needed. He smiled, slow, confident, and stepped closer. I stood still as he moved behind me, his fingertips grazing my spine as he slowly unzipped the dress. I didn't stop him. There was no hesitation, no pretense. We kissed, urgent, hungry. I reached for his shirt, pulled it over his head, and he lifted me like I weighed nothing. I remember every second of it, and I hate myself for that. Afterward, we didn't speak. We just sat there, breathing heavily, both of us staring at the floor. My dress was still on the ground, crumpled like the version of myself I was trying to forget. You know what's worse? He was actually more guilty than I was. He wanted to leave. I held on to him. I told myself I couldn't stay by myself, not after what I did. I needed him to stay. He stayed over that night, slept on Daniel's side of the bed. The fourth time, we didn't even pretend anymore. It felt natural, less guilt. I didn't even remember Daniel anymore. I told myself I'd stop when Daniel came back. But I didn't. He was broken when he returned, tired, hollowed out. He cried in my arms the first night, and I held him. But all I could think about was how Logan kissed me. I felt like a monster, so I overcompensated. I made Daniel's favorite meals, wore the lingerie he liked, told him I missed him so much. He smiled. He believed me. He said I was his rock, that he didn't know how he would have gotten through the past month without me. I swallowed the bile in my throat and kissed him goodnight. And the next day, I texted Logan from the bathroom. It wasn't about love, at least not at first. It was about attention, about feeling wanted, about control. With Daniel, I always felt like a child being protected. With Logan, I felt like a woman being devoured. But the more I lied, the harder it became to separate the truth. Daniel would leave for work, kiss my forehead, and I'd delete entire message threads seconds later. I'd gaslight him when he asked why I was always on my phone. "I'm working," I'd snap. "God, do you not trust me?" He'd apologize. Every time. I was a puppet master, pulling strings. I didn't even understand. The day everything fell apart started like any other. Daniel had left early for a meeting. I stayed home, said I wasn't feeling well. Logan came over around noon. We didn't even make it to the bedroom. When he left, he accidentally left his phone on the counter. I saw it while cleaning up the dishes. I meant to call him, but curiosity got the better of me. He had no passcode. The first thing I saw was a photo. Me lying on the couch in our living room. I'll spare you the details. I don't even remember him taking it. But he had sent it to someone named Rick, with the caption, "Can't believe Daniel still hasn't figured it out. This girl's wild." My stomach dropped, and just then, I heard the front door. Daniel. He had forgotten his wallet. He saw the phone in my hand, saw my face. I didn't have time to hide it. He walked over slowly, calm, like always. "You okay?" he asked. My mouth opened. Nothing came out. If this was any other time, I would be able to lie my way out of this, but not this time. Not after what I just saw. I couldn't process all this at once. I froze. "Whose phone is that?" He took the phone from my hand. It was still unlocked. The message, the picture, all on display. He paused, looked at me. "You were sick today," he said quietly. He turned the screen toward me. The photo stared back. Me. Our couch. Everything crumbled in that moment. Not just us. Me. Daniel didn't yell. He didn't scream. He didn't even cry. He just stared at me. For a long, long time. Then he said, "I don't think I ever really knew you." And he left. I chased him, tried to explain, lied again, said Logan pressured me, that I was manipulated into it, said I didn't mean to. When that didn't work, I flipped it on him. It was his fault. He was never there. And then I said it. Something about his mother. How all this happened because he was always there instead of with me. I regretted saying it instantly. I swear I didn't mean to say it. I said the first thing I thought would stop him from leaving. To reconsider. It did the opposite. Of course it did. He didn't respond. Turned. Looked at me. Eyes cold. I stopped speaking. Had to. I had never seen that expression on his face before. Not even during our worst fights. There was no anger. No pain. Just a hollow stillness. Like something inside him had broken in a way I couldn't reach. I didn't stop him anymore. I didn't have it in me. Daniel left that night. He blocked my number the next day. Logan disappeared, too. He sent one message. Didn't mean for this to happen. That was it. Turns out I was never more than a thrill to him. I never got to bring up that message. I was blocked once he found out about Daniel leaving. A story to brag about. I don't know if Daniel ever confronted him. Because this wasn't all just me. He was a part of this too. He deserves the worst. He did this to me, to my relationship. He took Daniel from me. I lost everything. It's been a year. I still dream about Daniel sometimes. In the dreams, he forgives me, comes home, holds me like he used to. But then I wake up, and I'm alone. I wonder if he's okay. I wonder if he has moved on. I think of him every day, how I destroyed him slowly. I think of that night, the last night I saw him. I think of his face, and I cry myself to sleep. I have no way of contacting him anymore. He just lives in my memories now. People say cheating is a moment of weakness, but that's a lie. It's a series of choices. Every day, every lie, every time. You ignore the voice in your head screaming, "Stop." I didn't stop, and I paid the price.